All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Anchorman here, back with another episode of the Multiverse Podcast, episode 25, with my co-host and main man, Faint Entertainment.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Seems like we got a two-man show going today. Hopefully, we can get the rest of the guys inside the show today. But welcome back to the greatest podcast on a Monday, man. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, make sure you got your news from tickgn.com. There's a lot of great things coming down the pike. And while you're at it, check out all of our shows on the Tick Game Network. Of course, you guys are tuned in right now to the Multiverse Podcast, which we said before is the greatest podcast on a Monday. Tomorrow we have the Writer's Block. On Wednesdays we have the Double SP Podcast and also Super Pod Shots. So make sure you guys come check it out. And as always, do not forget, we have a giveaway going for Gears of War 4, which may be the game of the year contender. So I'm paying for it on me. Check out the link below and try to win.
All right, so yeah, we had a lot of really cool stuff we want to talk about today. First, I want to talk about this Luke Cage stuff because they have been dumping, and I mean dumping, trailer after trailer, on and on and on. Netflix has just been giving us tons of good stuff about Luke Cage, and I want to talk about some of it today. So they dropped a lot of these trailers, more like extended scenes from the trailers we had kind of already seen, giving us a little bit more. But I just want to briefly go over what are some of our expectations for Fame and I between Luke Cage. And I'll start with you, Fame.
Dude, honestly, my expectations are through the roof right now. After watching Jessica Jones, anybody who had my opinion on this knows that Luke Cage made that show feel or seem better than what it really was. I think take out the Luke Cage, part, or Luke, they take the character out of that Jessica Jones, it would not have been as good. So my expectations are through the roof. I think a lot of it as well has to do with the whole Halo 5 thing, and I was such a big Halo fan, the whole Spartan Lock thing. I love the guy. I mean, even though they switched up the voice actor on us, I just love the guy, the way the guy carried himself inside of Jessica Jones, and he was a great choice for Luke Cage. And I think Netflix is smart to get behind this series because it's going to be absolutely amazing. If you like Jessica Jones, you are going to love Luke Cage because he is the reason that show was even halfway decent. So like I said, my expectations are really high. And unlike a lot of things in my life lately, like the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think I'll be let down.
Like yesterday with the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Cage, like I have a fondness for Luke Cage and Iron Fist. They're best friends in the comics, because it's so funny because they're both admittedly products of the 70s, where Luke Cage was like a blaxploitation character, where originally he was kind of two-dimensional. He wasn't given much access, and he was very stereotypical, and it was annoying. And Iron Fist was the same kind of way. He was specifically to cash in on the Kung Fu movie hype during the time frame. They were just built for those two things. And over the years, they actually became friends. They did Heroes for Hire, and they did all that kind of great stuff. And they became three-dimensional characters, which is why I love them both. And so for me, the big thing I want to see Iron Fist in this series at some point, because they do have that deep friendship between the two of them, and we have yet to see anything from Iron Fist. I'm also really excited because they actually casted the guy from I can't remember, his name's like Remy in the House of Cards show. He's gonna be I think it's what's his name? It's a snake name. He's gonna be the main villain in the show, and so I'm really digging that. They've been showing lots of little teasers towards the comics, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I do agree with you there. With Jessica Jones was an okay show. 13 episodes. It needed to be 5.
Yes, yes, it did.
Cut it down.
They really stretched it out. Like I said, Luke Cage to me, it was a selling point of the show. Was Luke Cage? I'm sorry, Jessica Jones as a standalone doesn't really appeal to me. I think most people. I think Luke Cage was a selling point, and it's a great way to lead us into his own series.
Yeah. And that definitely is a thing. I mean, Jessica Jones, even in the comics, is not that compelling of a character. I mean, and they know this. They keep pairing her off with people. And they do this on purpose because they know she's not as compelling as anyone else. And so, I mean, I'm sure she'll be in some capacity in the Luke Cage series.
Hopefully not a lot.
Well, I hope not a lot, because I think it's actually set beforehand, but I think we'll have flashbacks or something like that, or flash forwards, I guess. But I don't know.
Is it set before the events of Jessica Jones?
I'm not entirely sure. I believe so, because in Jessica Jones, he already has his powers, and they go into how he has those powers.
Well, I don't want them to go back. I'd rather them give us a flashback on how he got them rather than start way back there. I want the event to be after Jessica Jones, but I still want them to make sure they give the fans a detailed look, because 9 out of 10 people who watch the series are not going to know, his origin story. So I want them to still give us I don't want a half-ass done flashback.
Yeah.
Or giving us bits and pieces of a flashback throughout the show. Even if the first episode is dedicated to his powers, okay, how he got his origin, do that. By episode 2, that's flash forward to the present. I don't want to be in the past too much.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, because I know a lot of it has to do with I really don't want to spoil anything, because this show is coming out by the end of the month. I mean, it's not that far away. And I don't want to spoil anything about it. I mean, there is a lot of past stuff that's going to be relevant to it, because at least for the overall story arc with the villain. So, I mean, it is important. I don't know how they're going to handle it, but I think, like I said, we were talking about Jessica Jones. Normally, I like Netflix because they don't draw out a series too long. 13 episodes is perfect as a length. There's no filler episodes, but Jessica Jones was one of those shows where it felt like there was a lot of filler in there. And it got kind of annoying. But yeah, so let's just jump into some of the other topics we have tonight. We have actually quite a lot to speak about. So after we got Luke Cage out of the way, Fame's favorite game this year has got to be ReCore, as we've heard.
What?
You've been talking about it for the last year as your game.
Time out, Fame. Nope. I've said this 100 times, and I said it again. Yeah, though I am excited for ReCore, South Park. As I told you, the Fractured Butthole will be my game of the year. Just like Stick of Truth, the year it came out was my game of the year. ReCore was up there, but South Park was my game of the year, and I've been saying this, So let's rethink that. Though I'm looking. This
sounds like Damage Control for all that ReCore hype.
No Damage Control. I'm just trying to put the truth out there. That's all. But I digress. Continue.
ReCore, man. I mean, okay, so the reviews are coming out. Last night, I was extremely psyched about the game. I deliberately tried not to look at the game as much as possible after what I saw at E3. Like, I did not want to look at it anymore. I didn't want to try it. I didn't want to do anything with it. I wanted it to be a complete surprise. I fell into the trap of actually watching gameplay, and I got way too hyped last night. And so the reviews came out this morning, and they're to okay from what I've seen. It's like somewhere around 5 to 7s, somewhere in that range. So I mean, does this deter you at all, Fame?
Not even close. Most of the complaints people got are from the technical side of things. I apologize. And some of those things can be fixed. There may be another patch. We don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not deterred whatsoever. Review scores don't determine whether or not I purchase a game. I purchase a game or whether or not I feel it is appealing to how I game. And this game is appealing to how I game. So I don't care if I think it's at a 64 right now on Metacritic. I don't care if it was a 54. It's still a game that interests me. I've played games that got horrible reviews, and it's some of the best games I've ever played. So I could care less about review scores. Like I said, a lot of reviews are giving it bad scores because they're having technical issues, whether it's the loading screens or pop-in textures and pop-ins and then bad texture, things like that. But for the most part, a lot of people are saying that the fun factor is there. And at the end of the day, I choose fun factor over how some rocks look. I don't care about them rocks. If the game is fun and I'm enjoying myself, nothing else about that game matters. Whether it's, graphics, resolution. The only thing that would deter me from buying the game is if it's dropping horrible frame rates, because then that makes the game unplayable. But if you're giving a game bad reviews because you said it's not graphically impressive or the textures on all that great, but it has fun factor, then you're minimizing what makes a game a game. What makes it fun to people? You know, I don't look at it like, oh my god, this game's going to be great because the rocks and the grass look absolutely amazing. I don't buy a game for that. I buy a game because it looks fun to me. I think I could have a great job playing this game. And now I'm hearing people saying, you know, it can be beat in 4 hours and all this stuff. I do not care. People say you could be Quantum Break in 6 hours. I still bought the game. If it's a game I'm interested in, I will support that title and I will play it. And you know, I was, you know, a little bit taken back on some of the things I heard. I'm not going to lie, try to damage control it. You know, I'm not saying its issues aren't warranted or, you know, it's, you know, something I can just blow over. But it's nothing that will make me not have this purchase. I've had this game paid off. I had to pay for at least a month already. I'm not going to just pull my pre-order because of what's another person's opinion. Because at the end of the day, it's all another person's opinion. You know, even if people say, well, it's the majority rules. Well, if the majority of people in the state of Florida says that hamburgers are disgusting, you're going to stop eating them? No, because you have your own personal opinion of what you feel about that item. So no, it doesn't deter me whatsoever because, you know, it's my opinion versus someone else's opinion, and I trust my opinion more than I trust anyone else's. If I get the game and the game is crap, hey, that's what it is, but I trust my opinion more than anyone else's.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when it comes to review scores and stuff like that, I mean, I only look at review scores from certain people nowadays. And it's been that way for about 6 months or so. Like I'll look at a couple of people. I'll look at Angry Centaur Gaming because he does great breakdowns of games. Like each other, like, here's the audio, here's the visuals, all that kind of stuff. And like I really pay attention to that stuff. I look at Jim Sterling because I know for a fact he's not paid off by anybody, and I like his style of humor a lot. And I checked Danny O'Dwyer. He used to work at GameSpot. I know he recently just left, which I am sad about because I really enjoyed him. Probably the only reason I actually watched GameSpot at all, and so I'm pretty much done with them now. But anyone you actually pay attention to, or you just say you don't like reviews at all?
I don't listen to one person in particular. Now, if I do listen to someone as far as reviews go, it'll be someone internally. Someone that I know, or not necessarily a personal level, as far as I've sat down and broken bread with them, but someone, for example, there's a writer for TickGen.com. His name is Demigod Reviews. I would take his opinion. You know, just recently, Redbox had their Labor Day sale, and they had Deadpool inside of Redbox used for $9, and Demonstrator told me for $9 it's an absolute steal. If other people say don't waste $1 on it, I trust Demi's opinion, so I went out and I bought it, and I had a ton of fun with that game. So if I listen to anyone as far as a review goes, it's someone internally, someone I'm close to, someone that I know doesn't have an objective, or someone who doesn't, you know, have a reason to give it a crap or review, or reason to rave about it, you know. So none of the big sites and things like that can deter me or get me to purchase a game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I look at, like, okay, so I watched like I said, I watched Angry Centaur Gaming's review, and I read Jim Sterling's one, and that was pretty much it that I've looked at. I looked at Metacritic just to see what the general gist of. And I mean, there's clearly hipster reviews. Like most of them are settling in there around the 6s or 7s, and there's hipster reviews out there with 90s or 80s, and it's like, all right, you're the only two out here. But
Yeah.
and then there's also hipster reviews giving it a 4. It's like, okay. And so I mean, especially with games where there's kind of a mixed thing, I generally look towards the YouTubers and such who I normally agree with. We have similar tastes, and I look towards that. But like I said before, I don't really trust reviews. I eventually will just it and see if I like it or not. And there's games that people said it was crap or it wasn't that good. I actually loved it, like Mad Max, that game that came out last year. Love that.
Yes.
More than Phantom Pain. Love that game. And I mean, Phantom Pain was getting 10 out of 10s, and I don't care.
Yeah, because there are some games of 10 out of 10 that I could care less about, like you said, the Phantom Pain. It's something I will buy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's just not for me. A game can get rave reviews. It's okay. Uncharted got rave reviews. I did buy Uncharted, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I couldn't live without playing this game. It was okay. It was a fun game. I myself gave it a 9. But I just really can't, not buy a game because another man or woman told me that the game was bad.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, like a good review might persuade me to get a game or give it a shot. I mean, like that's the whole thing. Like, I don't like the Metal Gear series. I really don't. I never ever cared for it. I tried Metal Gear Solid 3, and I just like, all right, whatever. And I couldn't play it that long because I just was not interested in the game at all. But the good reviews that came out, I gave out. I was game sharing with a guy who had the game, so I got to try it out, and I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed the game. I like Mad Max more.
I just encourage everyone to form their own opinion. I mean, there is enough about a game that you can find on YouTube to form your own opinion. Like ReCore, for example, there's been 15, 16 minutes of the gameplay up for the longest amount of time. You can look and see whether or not you purchase it. Now, like I said, if you think that bad textures on a rock or a couple of rocks is a reason for you not to buy a game, hey, I can't knock you because that's you. But if you look at a game and you looking at gameplay, not just trailer, but you looking at gameplay and says, wow, the game looks fun, that's the only that is your ticket to go buy the game. If the game looks fun, you buy it. Because we play games for fun. If we wanted to see off the top and beautiful, we'll watch animated films. We play games to have fun with them, not because they look great. Mm-hmm. Gaming is not about how great a game looks. Looking great for a game is extra. That's the icing on top. But the fun factor is the cake. It's the core of it. You know what I'm saying? If it's a hamburger, the fun factor is the meat of the burger. Everything else is extra, which is great. Everything else is extra. But if it's a fun factor is not there, it's not worth it. If the fun factor is there, go out and support. Mm-hmm. This will go, please. I don't want another Sunset Overdrive issue.
Yeah. Here's the thing I like about ReCore. ReCore is my kind of game because for me, I'm very much oriented towards a post-apocalyptic, third person or first person, doesn't particularly matter. Shooters, survival, scavenging kind of games. I love games like that. Bioshock, you name it, I like it. It's that kind of setup. I really enjoy those kinds of games, and ReCore kind of hits all those notes for me. It's technically post-apocalyptic in terms of like they were supposed to have this colony on this planet, but it doesn't exist, and they have all these robots that were supposed to help everything, and now they've turned hostile. So I mean, it is kind of post-apocalyptic in its own weird sci-fi setting, and I'm really digging it. But I won't lie, these the technical issues with it are kind of deterring me a little bit. Like I still have it. I'm just probably not going to play it day one now because I don't want to have my experience tarnished by these little problems. I'd much rather they be fixed. Like I can wait a week for them to put out a patch to fix out most of the problems, and then I'll play it. I will play it when they put out a patch, but like I said, I'll probably wait a week and see what happens. If they don't put out a patch by a week, I'll play it and risk my experience being suboptimal from what the developers wanted.
Yeah, and at the same time, this game to me is a good filler that will hold me over until Forza Horizon 3 and Gears. I'm pretty sure I'll have it done. I'll probably have the game beat at least the main story beat within the first couple of days. And then, like I said, I hear it's open world, so a lot of stuff to do. But I encourage people to go out and just form your own opinion. Don't worry about these reviews. Some of the best games, some of the funnest games you can ever play got bad reviews. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And like I was looking at something earlier, like even like there's movies and stuff that get low reviews, but I like them a lot. It's like, all right.
I like Batman vs Superman. People hated it. I loved it. And I loved it. I liked it. I love Suicide Squad. It didn't get the best reviews, but I love Suicide Squad. Great movie. So form your own opinion.
Yeah. All right, let's get into another topic for the evening. We have a couple. I want to start off first talking about a smaller topic. So, the greatest delayed game of all time, almost hitting the 10-year anniversary. Last Guardian has been delayed one more time, and it was supposed to come out, I think it was like, what was it, October? I think it was October, like late October. It's been delayed till December now. And
honestly, I don't get why everyone's so excited. I know it's supposed to be based off of some people made some other game. I just don't get the hype around this game. I'm sorry. I call me ignorant. That's perfectly fine. I do more research. Say that's cool too. I just do not understand why people are just so enamored with the thought of this game. You know, I think it'll finally. Who does it? Was it Ico?
Ico, yeah.
Ico. I just at some point, if I am a hardcore PlayStation gamer, I've been waiting for this game. At some point, my hype had died down, and I just don't think. How can I say this? I don't see this game living up to what it has to be to justify this incredible delay. I just don't see it happening. I don't see. I think only the hardcore PlayStation gamer would even know anything about this game. We all know the PlayStation was made for casual gamers. And for anyone who gets butthurt about that, Sony themselves has said this, that they're reaching their target audience was the casual gamer. So don't get butthurt about me saying it. Sony has said it themselves. And the casual gamer will not care about this game. They won't. So I just don't see, the lure behind it. I don't think it'll live up to the hype behind it. And the fact that it's delayed a few more months, I think this will be the last delay. Now, if they would have said it's delayed to 2017, I would have told you it's never coming out. But since they delayed it up until December, now I will say, if it gets delayed again, stop talking about it, everybody, because it's never coming out. It is never coming out if that game does not come out December 6th. It's never coming out. So just give up the dream. It's never coming out. Like I said, I don't see the hype behind it. I don't think it'll sell well. The casual gamer, which a chunk of the PS4 owners or casual gamers are not going to purchase this title. It's only for the hardcore gamer. They're putting a lot of time in a game that's only for the hardcore PlayStation gamer.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, okay, it's only a month. I mean, people put up with it being delayed years. I think they can wait an extra month. And I mean, it's really not that big a deal. But at the same time, it's because of the history behind the game where another delay, I wouldn't be surprised if they just delayed it. Just say like, hey, remember all those delays? Those were good times. just one more for the road. Anyway, that's all it is about that. I just don't.
And I want to address a comment in the comment section. He says, "I'm sure there are just as many casual gamers on Xbox. Don't be ridiculous." Now, at not one point in my statement did I mention Xbox. Number one. Number two, not one point in the statement did I not say there were not casual gamers on the Xbox. But let's get some things clear here. I don't need to swear most again. A chunk of the PS4 population were 360 owners last generation, and we know for a fact that the 360 was aimed towards the casual game. We know this to be fact. I'm not speaking opinions, I'm speaking to be fact. And it's like I'm speaking of fact that Sony had themselves. I don't see how my statement could be ridiculous when you can look it up. And Sony themselves have said that they're aiming towards the casual gamer. Now, if you go out and find a casual PS4 owner, ask them, are they excited for The Last Guardian? I guarantee you they would say, huh? Because they won't know what it is. So for someone to say there's just as many casual gamers on Xbox, what does Xbox have to do with what I'm talking about? Xbox has nothing to do with PlayStation and The Last Guardian. So how is my statement about PlayStation having a lot of casual gamers ridiculous when it's fact? But we can move on. I just don't like when people, when you talk about a certain, just like we're talking about ReCore, someone says, well, PlayStation has nothing to do with ReCore. Just like The Last Guardian has nothing to do with Xbox. We're not talking Xbox. We're talking PlayStation. And I'm speaking a fact which Sony themselves, you can go Google it, has mentioned. So, you know, I just want to address that. I think it's silly when people try to argue facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say to it exactly. I mean, it's like I said before, Last Guardian, a lot of the hardcore guys are waiting for this game. It's been a much anticipated sequel of sorts. A sequel in terms of, like, you know, the next game that Ico's produced, and I mean, they've already kind of moved on and done their own stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I just hope this game is great so people can enjoy it and we can stop hearing about it. Like, I'm tired. Like, you remember whenever they showed off The Division, and after they delayed it the first time, I said, if they delay this one more time, it's dead to me.
Yep.
And they delayed it one more time, and it was dead to me. And I was like, I'm done with this. And the only reason I even gave it a chance is because we got in that beta. That was the only reason why. And I got.
Have you played The Division at all lately?
Was it?
Have you played that game recently? I haven't played it in so long. It died.
It lost.
I want to make this clear. I'm not sitting here saying that I hope the game doesn't sell well. I hope every game sells well, because that's great for the gaming. I don't, regardless of platform, I hope every game sells well, because it's more money to the industry, which means more games for us. That's what that means. I have a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox One. I'm not getting a Pro because I don't feel like it's big enough jump. When the PS5 was finally released, I will be getting that, because that's a big jump from the PS4 to the PS5, and then I'm getting the Xbox 12. I want every game to sell well. I'm not wishing for a game to sell bad. In my opinion, I don't think this game will sell well. Number one, it's been delayed for far too long, and a lot of people won't care about it. I just want to make sure I clarify that before someone says I'm hoping a game sells bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to wish any bad sales on anyone else. I normally don't like talking sales unless we're using it to establish something like how big a market is or something like that. I mean, I really don't like talking sales in general.
Speaking of sales, I saw one of the insiders. I don't know how to pronounce it. Zhuge.
Oh, Zuge, yeah, or Shuge.
If anyone follows him on Twitter, he's actually a lot of times he's actually pretty accurate on his statements.
Oh yeah,
he's really accurate, and he came. He blocked you?
Yeah, he blocked me a while ago.
Why?
He blocked me because I was talking about what was it? They were talking about the whole Scorpio symbol. This was back a while ago when they were talking about the whole Scorpio symbol, and they were saying anybody who has the Scorpio symbol is just like Nazis or something like that. And I said, that's way too far. I mean, like, it's really not that big a deal. It's just people excited for a console.
So do they feel the same way about people with the P?
Oh, I've been making that point last week ever since the Pro got announced.
So I'm like, people were so talking a lot of publications were talking crap about the M, but there's no one talking negative about that P. But the reason I did bring him up because he made a tweet and he's saying according to he's an insider, so I can't really know what he's going by. But he said by the end of the year, the Xbox should be at about 30 million. So, which is great. Oh, he said if it has a good holiday, which I think it will because of Gears, that it should be hitting 30 mil by the end of the year. That's amazing.
Forza combined, like, and let's talk about Forza Horizon 3 for a minute. Oh my god, like I've been seeing all the little stuff they've been putting out there. Forza Horizon 3 is looking real pretty. I wasn't planning on getting it. I played it at E3, but I might have to make that purchase.
I have a love-hate relationship with racers. I can't bring myself to buy a racer day one. Though I will pick it up at some point, I'm just not in love with a racer to go out and buy it day one. But I do plan on picking it up. I'll probably pick it up maybe after Gears. I want to get through Gears first, then I'll go pick it up. It'll be something good to play.
Do that Christmas sale.
Exactly.
Yeah, pick it up when it's
Black Friday. Black Friday probably be a great day to pick it up. I'm pretty sure I can get it for $40 on Black Friday.
Yeah, I mean, because in 2014, I went through my whole phase of okay, I'm going to buy every game that comes out and try everything. I think I bought most of the big AAA stuff. I ended up buying it, and even if I wasn't particularly interested, I wanted to try out new things, see what I liked. And I got Forza Horizon 2 and I actually really loved it. I normally don't like racing games at all. I don't like the car stuff. I normally consider if I want to go fast, I'll go out in my car and go on the highway right now. Like, and that's normally my perspective. But I liked the open world. I like being able to go off road, and the Forza Horizon 3 might tempt me because of those Forza Horizon 2 memories. So
I think at some point, I know a lot of people are into the sim racers, but just the Forza Motorsport series is dead. I'm sorry. I rarely see people playing that game. It didn't really sell well. I think at this point, they should put all their resources in the Forza Horizon series and continue to release it every 2 years. But I don't see very many people, like Forza Motorsport 6 was supposed to be one of the bigger titles we released that year, and no one really bought it. No one really cared about it. Everyone cares about, Forza, Horizon. So I don't know. I just don't see the purpose of keep making the Forza Motorsport series because people aren't really buying it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. My only gripe about the Forza series, I think it comes out too often because it is every year. They're just the
But
Forza
it's a different
series
game.
in general. What?
It's a different game every year, though.
I know it's a different game every year, but it doesn't. Even 2 years seems like it's too short, like of a time. Like we need like 1 year off, like just in between them. Like that'd be fine. I don't know. Like, just something to make you want it. Like that's the only problem I have with Assassin's Creed. Because like the Assassin's Creed games are largely pretty good. The only downside was they're every year, and I got burnt out on them. And like that's why I've already committed. I'm gonna buy the next Assassin's Creed game that comes out because they took this year off. That's all I needed. Like thank you. You took the year off. I'm gonna buy the next one, and simply because of fatigue of the franchise, I wanted something different to play. And they're doing that this year. If they would do that with Call of Duty, I might consider it if they took a year off entirely, like no Call of Duty that year. And that's one of the reasons, like the Forza series, I think they need to take 1 year off or something like that, like in between all of them, like just something to give us a break and make us want the Forza series again. So.
Just really quick, I noticed we didn't. I mentioned it, but we don't have it inside the description. If you guys are looking for that Gears of War 4 giveaway, I just put it inside the chat, and hopefully, for those who are not watching live, Anchorman updates the description at some point and puts it in there. But I did just put it inside the chat for you guys. So, and what up, Nicodemus X? If you guys don't know who that is, make sure you guys go check him out. One of the up and coming YouTubers, a great writer for our website, man. Definitely go and check him out. He puts out some really good stuff, man. One of the up-and-coming guys, man. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's my brother from someone else's mother.
Yep. All right, just say that real quick. All right, so we're going to get into one more topic for the evening before we all split out and go wait for either ReCore to drop or the Bioshock collection to come out.
Wait a minute. That comes out tomorrow, too?
Yeah.
Bioshock got to wait then.
Yeah. Like that's the only reason I could wait for ReCore is because I got 3 other games I could play.
Yeah, Bioshock, because I'm not buying it. I'm holding back on buying games digitally unless it has a lot of replay value, and Bioshock will have a lot of replay value for me. So I have to buy it physically, and I just can't bring myself to go out and drop another 60 tomorrow.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Friday is payday. It's a different story.
Yeah. Like I can definitely understand that. Like I wouldn't say like these are all 1 playthrough games, maybe 2 playthrough if you like having alternate endings, like significant ones. It's weird, but like it's one of those games where Bioshock 1 was the game that got me into gaming as a whole. Like I was just casually interested in it, but Bioshock grabbed me on a philosophical level and brought me into the gaming fold, and I owe Bioshock pretty much everything as to why I do all this stuff. So I mean, I picked it up namely because my game share partner had never played them, and I said I would disown him and stop game sharing with him if he didn't play the game. Like we can't be friends anymore. Like I can't associate myself with you if you haven't played Bioshock. Like it was that level. But yeah, I mean that's what's going on tomorrow. So like I might be able to put it off so I can play Bioshock 1 and then play ReCore. But I want to play ReCore first, but I don't want to have those bugs. That's the only thing keeping me back from that. But yeah, talking about our final issue for the night, this is just something that I've been dabbling with, and I've been getting a little more research on over the last day or so. I was arguing on Twitter about this, about console mods this morning, and I did it last night whenever I was at work, which was great because it helped me pass the time a lot faster, and I appreciate that. Everyone who was involved, you know who you are. So console mods are not entirely like an entirely new novel idea. Some games have tried them out in the past. Like Unreal Tournament 3 on PS3 had console mods, more restricted to skins, maps, and I think a few weapons, things of that nature. They would do, as I know they had, I think there's another game that does it, but we'll get to that one later. But by far the biggest game that has console mod support is Fallout 4, and soon Skyrim Remaster will have console mod support. So this has been an issue, as we found out. This was announced right after the PlayStation Pro announcement that Bethesda came out on their blog and announced that they will no longer be working on PlayStation 4 mods for Fallout 4, and they will be ceasing development of the mods. Or not development, because they're not making the mods. The creators are making the mods. They're just not going to be supporting mods on future Bethesda games, namely just Skyrim. That's the only other announced game that would be supporting mods from Bethesda. And this is I wanted to clarify a few things first, just to give a general gist of what we're talking about here. The way console mods work on Xbox for Fallout 4. What they can do is you can download a file from Bethesda's creation kit, and you can download a file to your game, which can change the game, which you can enable and disable, and it's just to the game. On Xbox, they allow 2 gigabytes of storage, memory storage, so you can actually change the game, but it's limited on how much you can exactly change by that data size. So you can do all that kind of stuff, and you can change. These are the PC mods. The only thing you don't have is a nudity mod, but anything else you can imagine, they have. You want the Macho Man Randy Savage Death Clause, you can have the Macho Man Randy Savage Death Clause. If you want to run as fast as the Flash, you can run as fast as the Flash. You can literally wear the CW Flash suit and run around as fast as the Flash. Like it's you can break the game. You can make the game crash if you really want to. You can put a bunch of stuff in there. You can change it. So like what I end up doing is I have a bunch of immersion mods on mine. What I'll end up doing is I can change the weather to look more like a Fallout 2 atmosphere, and what I'll do that, and I'll do I actually lower the resolution of the textures from 2K to 1K because the textures apparently are 2K as a basic for Fallout 4, so I lower them to 1K so it actually renders faster, and so I have that option, and the game runs a lot smoother as a result, and I love that about the game. And so, I mean, it's just, these are side little things you can do. You have the total freedom that PC allows, and all you got to do is you just got to have the creator port it over to Xbox, and there's lots of support for this. I think there's over 1,000 mods now on Xbox that have been ported for PC, and you have absolutely everything. Like if you want to have a radio station with only playing Metallica songs, you can have a radio station only playing Metallica songs. You have those options, and it's great. I love it. And this is something I want everyone on console to be able to experience, to have the option to do so. So now that you know how it works and what we're talking about with mods, they announced that they will not be having PlayStation mods anymore. And I want to get Fame's opinion on this first before I go into it. What are your thoughts about this?
From the feeling I'm getting is some things I've been reading. It seems as if there's a backdoor sort of issue that Sony won't allow Bethesda to have, as far as they don't want people to be able to do those mods. They want Bethesda to be somewhat as a supervisor, the middleman, as far as the mods go. This is what I'm reading. And if that's not the case, then it's a situation where Sony is making decisions for it. I mean, I just think there has to be a reason. Like I said, I'm hearing that they don't want people to be able to do this because it opened up other doors or something along those lines. So they want Bethesda to be a middleman as far as mods go. I'm hoping that is the issue that they feel is happening. If that's it is, I can kind of get behind it, but not really. At the end of the day, it kind of boils down to Sony just kind of making a decision for you.
Mm-hmm. So here's what the larger issue is. Like we have a lot of accounts. We have right now officially is Bethesda's account because they put it on their own blog, and they basically said it's up to Sony. Sony is not playing ball. We're not going to get involved. We have a account from I follow the Fallout Reddit, so I pay attention to that, and I listen to the modder community, and they said the issue was threefold. It had something to do with the proprietary system where they couldn't upload new textures or anything like that, and they had to get a license or something. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I know they had like the same thing with sounds. Like if you wanted to have new audio, you couldn't do that, which sucks. But the other thing that they said you could do was no, the file size limit where on Xbox is 2 gigabytes. It's like 900 megabytes. I think it's megabytes. Yeah. It's 900 megabytes, which is less than half, and they said that wasn't enough space that they needed. And I mean, there's a couple issues with it. I mean, I do want to address that there are mods on PlayStation. Well, there will be. Well, I think there is one currently, and there is also one on Xbox, and it's called Farming Simulator 15, and Farming Simulator 17 will also have mod support. But I do want to, because this was something that people were bringing up as a counterpoint, and I actually did some research this morning about this, and I was taking a look at it. If you actually take a look at what they count as mods, it's actually set up more like DLC. What you do is you actually you have the game, and you can go to the digital content section, and it'll open up the PlayStation Store. And what they'll do is you can actually buy it's not like buy. I'm using the term buy. Like it doesn't cost anything. It's a free mod pack. And they basically give you pre-approved stuff that was made by the community, which is now in your game. That's how that works. It's more like free community-made DLC than a mod. But at least not mod in terms of how the PC community looks at what mods are. And that's how that works. So technically it does have mod support, but these are the kinds of mods that Sony says are acceptable to them, but they aren't really, mods proper. When people think of mods, these are what mods are.
Yeah.
That's just to clarify what that means. So I look at it as like I agree with you that I don't want Sony making decisions for me, but I understand because there is a concern. I think what it is though is I think Sony doesn't understand what mods are really. I think they understand that it's user created content, but I don't think they understand what it means overall. Where they make where their players get to create it, and like I know there was this there are these sources out there. And I mean, I don't trust sources unless I know them personally. Like unless they come to me and they tell me something and I can verify who they are. But I don't trust the whole anonymous source thing. And just call me a skeptic. That's just how I operate. I've heard insiders be a source, and and certain insiders in particular, I don't have a respect for. And if you want to know who those are, you can contact me, and I might tell you. But I'm not going to get into it here. And we have there's a concern about quality testing or QC or QA, where Bethesda is refusing to do quality testing on these mods, and I'm looking at it as that's ridiculous to ask Bethesda to personally go and quality test each individual mod. Keep in mind, this doesn't make them any money. This is just them doing this out of the kindness of their own hearts to go and test every single mod. And not only that, but they have to test combinations of mods because combinations of mods actually can conflict with each other. So they would have to test each mod and then combinations of those mods. And now, keep in mind, these mods can be updated by the player creator. And so it's ridiculous to ask them to test all these mods. And I assume if this thing was true, the sourcing was true, that it would Bethesda would basically have to pick and choose which mods would be approved, and that's not something Bethesda wanted to do. They basically wanted to have, okay, We're bringing PC mods to console. It's the same across the board. It's total freedom to do what you want. And I understand we had this discussion about supposedly you were saving this to the OS, or that the mods would have access to your operating system, which they don't. They're only to the game. So worst case scenario, your game crashes, it doesn't work. But you just reboot it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And like I said,
go ahead.
Like I said, it'll be interesting to see if they come around. I hope they do. I think that's something I think everyone should be able to enjoy. But we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I was like, here's the thing. I mean, people were bringing this up last night, and they were saying, "Oh, why do you care? You play on Xbox." It's like, no, I care. Fallout is my game. It's one of my games. It fits into the post-apocalyptic third-person RPG kind of deal that I love, and I want people to be able to experience the game. And the people have access to the game, and it's great. Like I love the game a lot. I like it more than Fallout 3. Not as much as New Vegas, but I like it more than Fallout 3. And what peeves me is that it's not about the console. I just want people to have options. I want my friends to be able to enjoy the crazy mods that are out there. I want J-Main on Twitter to have access to the notorious BIG mod, where the mysterious stranger has been replaced with BIG entirely. And when he shows up, it plays clips of his songs. It's hilarious. It's great. I want him to have access to that. I want people to have the same options and freedoms that I do. I mean, I want people to enjoy mods and the game for what it is. And it's not malicious. It's not anything for a console war. I just want everyone to have these options and freedoms. I think it's only the right thing to do, and the best wishes towards everyone. And like, hey, I want, and if ReCore, in my opinion, turns out to be great, I want everyone to have access to that game. I want everyone to have the option to play it.
What you mean, everybody? So you don't want consoles to have exclusives anymore? You want Uncharted? You want Uncharted on Xbox and Halo on PS4?
Sure, why not?
Hell no. Then what's the point? What's the point?
What's the point? I don't care.
There'll be no point. You know what? Speaking. What I need you guys to do is do me a quick favor. Those who are listening live or recorded, I need somebody to figure out why the Xbox doesn't have YouTube streaming. I literally tweet that out once a week. Anchorman sees it. Once a week, I tweet out to Xbox for Xbox to have. That's an incredible feature that PlayStation has. The Xbox doesn't. When I stream on YouTube, I'm streaming from my PS4 because Xbox doesn't do it. Of course, I know people say, "Go get an Elgato, you piece of shit. You being cheap." Yeah, I'm being cheap. I don't want to pay for it if the console can do it. So, come on, Xbox. You went out and bought Beam. I'm pretty sure you maybe never have an app for it. I don't know, but there's no reason why YouTube streaming is not on the Xbox. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I want that feature. I want to be able to stream to Beam. Hey, you bought it, put it out there.
I think they only bought it because Microsoft seems to only care about PC games. Oh, I said it. I said it.
All right. Anyway, this has been a good show. Great two-man. This is really a throwback. For those of you that follow us in the beginning, you remember that Fame and I were doing this alone for a long time.
Yep.
And so this was kind of a throwback of sorts. So I think we plan to be around next week. I think we plan to. I don't think anything's popping up, is it?
No, I don't think so. But next week I'll definitely be mobile. I won't be in front of my PC, so I'll actually be. Hope my job don't hear this. I'll be doing this from work next week, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep. All right, man. Anyway, this has been great. Thanks for everybody for checking out in the chat. Thanks for everyone showing up. Thanks for Nicodemus. Thanks for Megative. Thanks Jubilee.
Jubilee. Just called me a cheap bastard.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, everyone else. Just really, thanks, Megatron, Stu. Stu always shows up to every single show that we ever do. It's crazy.
Shout out to the one person who just disliked the video. Jerk.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for everyone showing up. I really do appreciate it. This has been episode 25 of the Multiverse podcast, the greatest podcast on Mondays. We are out of this thing.
Sup?